erode our D12 field. And at that point, their pulse will get through. And at that point, we have about 3 months' time, because it takes anywhere from 3 to 12 months before when a seal releases. Now, this is not just seals releasing. This is seals releasing and having them amplified and having having sonic pulses thrown through them to amplify them very, very strongly, because they need to. If you can picture the two wormholes, which are over here. Okay, the two wormholes are over there. Now, they have to be linked to become one big one. So what they need to do is hit the spot in between them with a very intense pulse that will literally rip a hole in what you could call the fabric of time, which is a frequency wall between here and the phantom. If they do that, it's all over. We can't stop it. The Guardians can't stop it. Nobody can stop it. So at that point, it wouldn't happen immediately. We're not just going to and right then get sucked into a wormhole. It won't go like that. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process between now and 2008 that would unfold if they're successful. It would involve progressively escalating Earth changes. First localized, that would get stronger and stronger and stronger. It would involve progressive acceleration of the World War III drama to get rid of populations. And eventually, it would involve space brothers coming in to say, oh, you guys are really messing up your planet. We're going to show you how to run it now. And they would get their physical presence on planet. And from there, they would use us to set up a couple little things that they still need built, which are literal plants, like buildings with particular types of frequency generation machines in them. So they could use those machines with the HARP network that's already here, which they helped us to build to make sure it was on planet because it was going to be needed in their plan. They will use us and our ability to build this technology for them to, by the year 2008, have the stuff on planet, have their physical presence and the physical machinery on planet, so where they can transmit the hyper pulses, hyper intense sonic pulses that they need to break through the force fields that are on the inner Earth portals. So this is their plan, and guess what? After they do that, they don't need us anymore. And what happens after they do that in a stellar activation cycle is pole shift, rapid pole shift. Within about 3 months it starts to go, and within 3 years it completely flips. Literally. And that is just decimation on a planetary level. There have been those times on this planet before, and it was like hitting the restart button, because everything has to be reseated here when that happens. So, if they get their way, that is what the people who stay here would see. If it goes that bad, what we will be guided to do is to, first of all, they will give us hyper-advanced DNA activation techniques, so we can definitely get through and sustain DNA activation where we could be in inner Earth and deal with the frequencies there. Because inner Earth is in a timeline that's a little bit ahead of ours, which means it's faster, which means it oscillates. The particles oscillate faster. If we have a slower oscillation rhythm in our body molecules and we try to go through a stargate into a place that has a faster frequency and our bodies can't hold it, it creates molecular compaction, it's called, on the inside, on the atomic level. What this creates is spontaneous combustion of the physical form. Now, that they won't take us through gates if that's going to happen, because when that happens, we end up, the consciousness fragments. It's not like you can just get out of your body and your body can spontaneously combust. You go with it. You literally have your consciousness fragmented, and that's a whole other start evolution all over again to get yourself out of here. So they won't take you through, with the chance of losing your body. Some people who can't make the transition, who their bodies just need too much work and there's not enough time, will actually choose other ways to leave, such as the people that were in the accidents recently. They had agreements to leave at a certain time. We all make agreements to when we're going to come in and be born in a system, and when, depending on how things go, we give ourselves several options for our death experience or ascension experience. If we're going to go through stargates and take our bodies with us, then we don't choose a death experience. But the people who are leaving planet right now, and there's going to be progressively more of them, if we can, there's the sadness part where you think, some of them will be victimized. Some of them are agreeing to play that role. Not here. Their personalities don't know it. But their souls know it. They're trying to get them out before they end up in Phantom Matrix. So if they can't take their bodies through, they'll opt for being in a place where a natural disaster happens, or where a terrorist attack happens, where their bodies go, but their consciousness gets to get out of that body and up out of the density one-time cycles, so it doesn't have to reincarnate and get sucked down into the Phantom Matrix. This has literally been something that for thousands and thousands of years, what has been happening when people die here since 10,500 BC. most of them get hijacked. As soon as the body, as soon as you die, your consciousness starts to raise in frequency and your body starts to drop in frequency until they separate and sever. What normally happens is your consciousness keeps raising in frequency, and then it will go up and connect to your D5 level of self. That's where you see the light at the end of the tunnel in near-death experiences. That's when you're connecting with the center of your soul matrix in D5. What these wormholes and the people who run them have been doing is they have been literally sealing off the ability to make that transition out of this planetary system into the next density level. They have been siphoning off people when they die and dragging them into Phantom Matrix. There's a whole bunch of them there that know this is the time they can get out. And after this time, that matrix is going to be closed. It's going to be literally probably millions of years before anybody tries to go back in there, because it's a place that almost took this matrix down, trying to save it. So right now, there's a whole bunch of people, and people that aren't in bodies anymore, that are trying to get the heck out. So if we start to see tragedies and things happening, which we are going to happen, they're already happening. If you happen to live in Afghanistan now, you think it's the end of the world, because every time you look, there's bombs dropping and everything you know is blowing up around you. And things like that.